So the first thing that I'm noticing here is the motor's gone. There's supposed to be a loading motor here. The loading motor is what threads the tape around the video head. And this is going to free spindly. See, I can do this like by hand. Because there's no motor here, there's no gears. So that's one of the issues we're going to have to tackle. I'm going to have to see if I have a motor that I can put in here to get this thing so we can operate it. And here's another motor right here. These particular Sanyo models are the Toshiba. I can't remember the name of the Toshiba, but it is a Toshiba model. Because even the customer said that it was a Toshiba, so he knows. He obviously knows that this is a Toshiba. He calls it a Toshiba because I was talking to him, telling him that, you know, I may need to order parts and stuff. And I was talking to him and he said, well, it's a Toshiba. I said, yeah, it is a Toshiba, but it's branded as Sears. Because I want to make sure that he's the customer of this machine. So he said, yeah, it is. I said, okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting this VCR mixed up with somebody else's. Because I have a few of these to work on this week. So, I'm looking at the power supply here. This is the power supply board right here. The fuses are not blown. Right? That fuse is not blown. There's two fuses actually. And this one's not blown either. So, I think what I'm going to do is take the wiring all off and let's get this power supply board completely taken out, because this is a linear, it's got a linear power supply. Here's the transformer. This is a big transformer. We'll see what's going on, because I'm gonna say at this point it could be, well, I'm thinking bad capacitor, because usually capacitors, they go bad. Now some of these I may not even have, but let's just go through it and see. I'm gonna get my tester here and we're gonna test to see what these capacitors are doing and see if there's maybe any open capacitors. So let me get this taken apart, and we'll put the circuit board on the table here, and we'll take a look at it and we'll start testing for capacitors. Probably gonna, now very rarely does a resistor go bad, but they can go bad sometimes. Transistors go bad, so capacitors and transistors. Transistors don't go out as much as capacitors, but they do go out. So we need to check all that stuff. But the first thing I'm going to check is my caps. And we'll see what's going on with that. Because that's weird that this thing won't power on at all. And, well, it could even be over here too. There's another board here too, so this one's got components on it. And that fuse is fine. There's nothing wrong with that fuse either. So, yeah, let's get this taken apart. Okay, so I got my multimeter out. So I've got this is as far as I can go. I can't take this thing out completely unless I unsolder some of these wires, which I'm not going to do because I can get to the power supply with ease now. So this is as far as I'm going to tear this thing out, because I can get to it now. I can get to all the capacitors and the other components that may need changed. I don't know. But I'm thinking this is probably going to be a power supply issue. Because there's a lot of capacitors on this board here. So I had a YouTuber ask me what I use to test capacitors with. I just use this multimeter. And this, you know, I can use this to test them. So anyway, yeah, let's dive in and see what we can do and see if we can revive this old machine. Hey, this is the Betamax man. Today, I have a Toshiba model. This is a customer's machine, and it's a Sears branded. Sears used Sanyo and Toshiba betas for their beta format. So, but this one has no power. There's no power. It's not lighting up. It's plugged in, right? See, I've got it plugged in. But there's like, this thing is completely dead. So, I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unplug it here. And we're going to see, we'll see what's going on with this, because we have a power supply issue. And I don't know what other issues we may have. We may have other issues too. So I'm going to take the screws off, and I'm going to pull the top off, and then I'm going to go inside and I'm going to take a look at the power supply. It could just be a fuse, because sometimes if these machines have a belt that is slipping, or broken belt where the motor is just sitting there and running, sometimes it'll blow a fuse. So let's just check and see if maybe it just needs to have a fuse put in. So there is one more issue that I'm gonna go ahead and take care of. I really cannot do anything else except for change the capstan belt. We'll change the capstan belt, and then I'll manually thread the tape and see if we can't get this thing to play, because if I can get this thing to play, then I could see if there's a picture, because I want to see if the head amplifier is working okay. And the head amplifier, I think, is going to be on this bottom board down here. This board down here, I believe, is going to be the board where the head amp is, but this thing might have a picture. So let's change that belt and see if we can't get this thing to play. It's plugged in now. Let's just see if there's any kind of display here. Yep, we have a clock. At least we have a clock. Do we have a power light? No, we do not have a power light. So, we still have something going on in the circuitry, because it still doesn't have the power light. So, one of those other capacitors is going to be, well, maybe there is power. Maybe it's just the light that's, it might be the power light. Let's just get a test tape and let's just see if we have, let's just see if it'll at least accept a cassette. Yeah, so we still have something wrong in the power supply. Yeah, there's something, we still got a problem in the power supply, so we need to take it back apart and we'll see what we can do, because at this point I'm gonna have to probably order, I may have to order some capacitors that I don't have, because I have some of them, you know, I put the ones in that that we have, but so we still got an issue. At least we're heading in the right direction, because we actually have a clock display, which is more than what we had an hour ago. But yeah, we're not. Well, this is a blank tape, I think. Yeah, so, but we'll figure that out, because we're definitely still missing a voltage somewhere. So let's just see. Yeah, I got everything's plugged in. Everything's completely plugged in, so I don't know. Yeah, so we'll still take a look. So I've replaced every capacitor that I had. The ones with the red mark on them are the ones that I did not have. If I had those, I would have recapped this whole thing, but I put all the capacitors in that I had. Some of them didn't need replaced, and some of them did. I just went ahead and just done the ones that, even the ones I didn't really need to change, I just changed them anyway, because I had those caps, so I thought, okay, well, I'll just put one in. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, and we'll see if we got any power coming to it, because I think we just had those capacitors. So the ones that I replaced are these. So these were all bad. Well, some of them were. Some weren't. But the 50 volt, I actually did have 50 volt at 47. So those ones, they've been changed. And we'll see if this thing will power up. Well, the belt is actually okay. The belt's fine. I changed it anyway, but there's not going to be anything else I can do for this thing at the moment. But at least we did get the machine to come on, and it will accept the tape. Now this belt here is going to be bad too. This belt is also going bad, so this will need all new belts in this unit. And that casting belt was actually okay, and changed it out with another one, but still had no change. So we'll take a look at that here. So we'll have part 2 will be coming up. So this is the end of part 1. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I want to check some of these smaller capacitors, because they seem to go out more than the bigger ones. A lot of times the bigger capacitors are usually okay. for some reason it just seems like the smaller ones are the ones that start to go bad and they start to go out. So let's just check some of these here and we'll see what's going on. I can't really do anything right now with the mechanical issue, but we need to fix the power issue first because I need to make sure that this isn't a problem. There's got to be a problem in the power supply, and that might be what I actually did see a little bag. He had a motor and half of a gear, so he didn't give me all the parts, but the motor's there, and I'm wondering if maybe the customer thought that the motor was bad, so he took it apart and he didn't know how to put it back together. So that might be the case, and he might have thought that the motor is dead. Well, the voltage may not be there. I mean, obviously, right? Because this thing's not even powering on. So there's got to be a voltage missing somewhere. So this one's a negative on that side. That one's open. Yeah, that one's open. I might have to order these because these are 50 volts capacitors at 47 microfarad. Yeah, these are, yeah, they're 50 at 47, so I'm gonna need to order those. But let's just check some of these little ones here and see if there's a possibility that I might be able to get it up today. I don't know. So I don't really know. Here's a 16 volts. So there's a 16 volt. Let's check that one. I just want to check this bulb right here. So this one's going to be... Let's check this one and see what's going on. This one's probably going to be around 3 hours, so that one's okay, but it is running a little low. So I think that one is probably going to need to be changed. Let's see, where's these other ones here? Here's another one that needs checked here. I was hoping to get this thing off, and I wanted to check. I wanted this off really because I wanted to try to take this board completely out, but it's just not going to be something I want to do. So okay, there's another bad one. That one was completely open right there. So this one right over here was completely open. This one was just registering a little low. Okay. Here's another one. Let's check this one. This has got a lot of capacitors that are registering low. That one's open. That one's open. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is change out. I'll change the ones that I do have, and then we'll see if it'll even power on, because there's so many bad caps. This thing just not working at all. So there's something that's going on, and all three of the fuses are fine. So those are not bad at all. So let's. So I'm just gonna start changing out some of these little ones here. Now, this is a customer's machine, so he's okayed me up to a certain amount. He's gonna be looking at around 4 hours, probably about 4 hours labor, because I just don't think that I don't think I can do it under 2 hours. I mean, he was hoping I would stay under 3 hours, but he's probably looking at around 4 hours labor, because you're not going to be able to do that. So I'm not going to be able to. That's going to be. It's just, unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of hours on this one to get it going. So let's see if my ironer is nice and. I think I probably have this one, because this is a smaller capacitors. I have a few big ones, but the big ones that I have are usually, I have a 25 volt and at like 470, and I have some 16 volts at like 1,000 microfarads. So I don't have very many of the big ones. So I'm going to have to order them because I don't have them. Man, that one didn't want to come out, did it? Oh, that one was fighting me to come out. So, that's... Oh, shit, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see. This one's about... because the 16 at 10, so I have some of those. Let's try and find out where my solder went here. Yeah, let's change that one. We need to change. Got a new set of caps here, so I'm gonna see what we can do here. Yeah, there's a 16 at 10 right there. That'll work. Okay. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm trying to order some of the oddball caps, like the 6.3 volt capacitors. Okay. You know, it's weird. They actually have extra things on this board. They have a board that that there's some areas where you could, like maybe a different model had a capacitor over here. This one doesn't have a capacitor on it, but it's set up to put a capacitor in. So maybe on a different model they had a capacitor there. That's interesting. So, hold on, Maui, don't get you out. Alright, I'm going to come back in and I'm just going to go ahead and start changing some of these capacitors, and we'll be right back, okay?